Here we go. Welcome. Welcome back to the ESP FAQ Friday, post-tax day slash April showers slash blizzards edition. I I'm here in Utah. I had more snow in my yard this morning than I've had for almost 2 months, probably at least a month and a half, almost 2 months. So yeah, some festive memes for you as always.
And
And
climate
let's
change is real.
so we got there's been some news and we'll definitely touch on that, but here's what we're going to go over in more detail today. Got the Tesla Powerwall extended, got some updates from GoodLeap. We'll have some new features in Aurora coming soon. I wanted to talk about the last few months. I've had an Enphase backup battery for the last few months since December, and it is awesome. So I'm going to just chat about that a little bit, and then we'll talk about how to bring jobs over, at least at a high level. And we're going to start off with a lovely little 24-day install from site survey to install complete. And I wanted to show this one, not just because, we got the guys wearing the good-looking gear, putting it on and roping off the area for safety and putting all this stuff under the wall. And who put that chimney there? What's happening? So that's not not to detract from the quality of the workmanship or anything, but just one of the situations that we always want to emphasize again. Know what you're up against with kind of like placement of equipment and requirements and things like that around the house, so it's not a surprise for the homeowner that we do have to run conduit. We can't put there's nowhere for us to put a battery next to this next to the main panel. So we have to do a little bit of Tetrising around here, but again, we'll do our best to color match and everything like that, so it's not going to be so blatant. But yeah, just a heads up. But
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, the speed to install this is great. Getting it done in a few weeks, that's awesome. And we will paint that conduit, and we'll work with the homeowner in every specific situation to make sure that it matches the best that we can. But truth be told, guys and gals out there, there's a lot of conduit that needs to be run. There's a lot of things that need to be connected with the power wall, with the connection box, with everything that's there, the AC/DC disconnects connecting to the main panel, all of it, all of that equipment is real, all of that conduit, the 2-inch conduit line. So um, make sure you talk to your homeowners about this, because one of the things that we're seeing out there mostly right now is pushback on, hey, homeowner, the rep didn't tell me that this was going to be this way. So get out in front of it, guys. It's an easy conversation to have. In order to have it, it's either you have this equipment and you pay $1,000 a month for your electricity bill, or you don't have this equipment and you pay $1,000, right? So it's an easy conversation to have. So, anyways, that's my two
yeah,
cents.
no, I totally agree. Yeah, aesthetics are at the end of the day a small price to pay for saving thousands and thousands of dollars, And it's not we're not doing this for fun. We do want to be as efficient as possible. Every inch of this conduit costs us money, and so we want to make sure that our bottom line is protected by being efficient with this stuff. We're not throwing it up there for fun. We're not just playing, Anyway.
I always say, is this uglier than $1,000 electric bill every month?
A which
In
which
fact,
hurts you.
it's pretty good looking.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, again, you guys ought to see what's on the outside of my wall. I'll show you some examples if we ever put together a video, but I have a lot of equipment for my backup battery, but I think it's awesome. I think it's like space age, future tech. It's pretty cool. Anyway. Speaking of power walls, they announced that they are extending the $500 per power wall, the bonus that you can get. The homeowners get a virtual Visa rebate reward card. They can do that up to 2 times, one per power wall, up to $1,000, and that is through June 30th now. It was ending as of March 31st, but they extended that through Q2. So great. Gives us a little bit more time to get those installs done as well, till December. Again, this is pretty self-serve for homeowners, the entire process. Once they've signed the paperwork, they can log into the portal to register, hey, yeah, I got this. And then there's just one more step. Once it's activated, they say, yep, we got, and then they get the rebate. So pretty sweet. Take advantage of it. And we have had this question come up. We sent this out in the newsletter. The basically every panel, how many panels can attach to one Powerwall, or one plus an expansion pack, or two Powerwalls, or so on and so forth. It can be confusing, but don't let it be. It's really the ultimate at the end of the day here is it's enforced by Enfin and the equipment capacity. Essentially, you can only attach so many panels per Powerwall. So, Andy, you've fielded the most questions about this. So, what would you like to say?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty self-explanatory, and you'll see even in the next slide, GoodLeap has its own rules around the number of panels and the number of batteries that are going to be allowed. And it's kind of just common sense stuff too. So, you see here on this chart, if you have a 15.36 kilowatt system and you have 44 panels that are AC mods, then you're going to need two batteries of some kind, right? Whether it's going to be the main Powerwall and expansion or more. There's also a link in the newsletter that actually breaks this down really well. So if you're on this call, you also got the newsletter. And so you can click that link and you can see the spreadsheet that gives you a full tutorial guide on how to break it all down. We've done some really good stuff as far as like building the pricing in. So it all is the same. You guys don't have to do anything. All you got to know is if you use, 28 panels, then you're going to have two Powerwalls or one Powerwall, and one expansion kit, or however the numbers pencil out. But it's pretty basic stuff, guys.
Yep. Good stuff. All right. As mentioned, here's the GoodLeap updates. This is one of the announcements they just came out with for how they are pairing, how they're sizing things. So take a screen grab. This again was in the newsletter.
Yep.
Check it out. If you're they're locking it in, they're being more paying more attention to like system production and offsets and things like that. So that's how they're structuring it a little bit. So if you're building a system that's going to produce 10,000, kilowatts a year, basically you have to pair it accordingly here. They also introduced an offset cap. So that's something that some of the utilities already had the 150% cap, so they're just basically enforcing it. But they are only going to allow up to 110% to just slide right through. Anything
Yeah.
between 110 and 150. So that's going to have to do the homeowner's going to have to sign an additional document, and GoodLeap is going to do an additional review. So, Andy.
The form itself is actually pretty basic.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure that everybody has the ability to grab that document and have it DocuSigned, or even just filled out by pen and paper by somebody, but most likely a DocuSign signature. They're going to have to prove that like they're getting an electric car, they're getting a hot tub and a jacuzzi, or, they're getting a sauna put in and they need more juice in that system. It's basically like the old days, system size approval thing that we used to have to get signed back in the olden days when I used to have hair on my head. But yeah,
Andy,
moving on.
those good old days, sadly gone, but that's okay. Moving on. Lastly, they also announced that they are no longer doing loans. We're always on the lookout for what's going to be the best options in the industry. GoodLeap has said they're looking at new products. We also are obviously, always open to checking out, hey, is this going to be a good solution, a win-win for everybody involved? So stay tuned for that. If you still have people who do want to do loans, that interest rates are still kind of crazy. So it's been a lesser thing, but it's still out there. It's still a demand. So
Yeah.
okay. Oh, this is cool. Aurora is this is more information than you guys need, honestly. I'm just kind of excited about this because it's a big quality of life improvement. Aurora was using HelloSign. That's what they're calling their legacy signature platform now. They're moving to DocuSign. It's a lot more flexible. It's a lot more powerful options. So it'll make any agreements that you sign through ESP a little bit more just like direct. Like we can do actual calculations instead of just saying like, 7 days after contract date, we can actually put the date stamp that equals 7 days after. Or, if it's 80%, we're not just going to put 80% of the cost. We're going to actually put the number that it comes out to. So look for that coming soon. We'll have some more trainings about it specifically. You will have to basically authorize Aurora and DocuSign to send on your behalf, but it's just you sign in once, click the thing that says okay. So just don't be surprised by that once we roll it out. That's going to be probably in the next, again, like uh, month and a half sooner than that, obviously. So uh, here we are going on to my battery system. So this is a screenshot I took just a couple days ago. Again, I geek out on this stuff. You know me, but I was showing this to my neighbors up the street, and they were like, "Oh my God, you were like basically off the grid for days and days and days." So it's really cool. I think that you can use the Enphase app as a demo mode. There's a way that you can basically just use like a sample system essentially to show homeowner what the experience is like for a homeowner. Um, I just love seeing the grid dependence 5%. That's been basically my average all month long so far, even in winter. So I got this installed at the very, very end of the year. Flipped it on like December 30th. And January, I was like 30% grid dependency. February, 27%, which again, like pretty impressive for those typically cloudy, short days, months. March was down to like 17%, and yeah, April was like 6%. So I can't even wait for the summer. It's going to be mind-boggling. So I love it. Super cool. Definitely, again, just find the homeowner who this matters to and show them how cool it is, and they'll be like, "Oh, yep, got to have that for me. That's so cool. I want to geek out. I want to show my friends. I want to show my neighbors." So anyway, um, I'm going to show you the real.
Thanks for that nerd breakdown, Danny. Love that. Um, definitely going to be something for that specific type of consultant out there and that specific homeowner. A lot of this is like, analysis paralysis kind of thing where there's just like too much information. I can't absorb it all. But with that, there is definitely going to be those homeowners out there that love this stuff and they're going to be wowed by the information and knowledge that you have. Um, this also is shared, when you're in Aurora and you're looking through the proposal, it has this little graph of like import, export, grid usage, battery usage. It has it all broken down again for those folks. And then again, for those like, let's say SCE customers who are pushing electricity during August and September during those 1 or 2 hours where you actually get a good export rate, it's all built in. And you can change that on the app and do whatever you want with it. But we're going to set it up for it for you guys, or Enphase is, or Powerwall is going to as well, which is kind of a fun thing to geek out on as well.
Yeah, a lot of it is done for you, but you've got a little bit more, a little bit of control in there. So, yeah, again, just it's really cool finally being able to see what we've been talking about, for like, oh yeah, hey, they do this, like, and actually being able to experience it is gratifying. It's good times.
Yeah.
Let's get back into it. Okay, transferring jobs. So, as it so happens, there might be a need for this because of some recent news that you maybe saw. Again, we if you got our newsletter, which you probably did, first and foremost, our hearts go out to everybody who's been impacted negatively by the one of the largest solar providers in the country going under. That's never something that we like to see. That's always rough. This is a tough industry to do right, and we've seen this for the last few years. I mean, it takes all sizes out, and yeah. Anyway, we are going to be rolling out the process for transferring jobs to us. The easiest answer right now is start with the green means go. Start with the easy stuff. We can
Start
easily
fresh.
yeah, start fresh. Start anything that you've just gotten the writing done, or maybe there's been a survey done. We'll take those all day long. That's definitely easy for us to work with. If the design has already been done, that gets into like kind of the medium easy, but we'll definitely still, be happy to take those on. Yeah, if you have any, again, questions about how to bring jobs in using the rep portal, we've got training videos out there. We've got
Yeah.
links to that. Andy will help you out. Crystal will help you out. Definitely want to make it a smooth process. Here's where we need to press pause briefly. If permits have been filed, approved, or the install is about to commence, we can't install on somebody else's permit. I mean, that kind of should go without saying. So we have to redo a lot more work. I put this in there, and Andy, maybe and maybe even Jordan to know this. There might be some AHJs where the homeowner has to do something with that. I'm not positive. We're gonna try and do as much as we can, obviously, but like if you wouldn't want an installer calling the city and being like, "Hey, yeah, no, just cancel that permit for the other company had. We're taking it," So
Yeah, we don't want to go down that slippery slope. Yes,
yeah,
sometimes it can be easily transferred, but other times it's more about just a lot of communication, over communication.
over
If
communication.
MDocs have been submitted already and it's under one place and not another, we need to make sure everything lines up in the right way. So again, this is not like a hard no, and it's also not like a hard yes. It's like we gotta see, we gotta communicate, we gotta make sure that this makes sense for everybody to move jobs around this way. And, again, to kind of reiterate what Danny said, uh, anybody out there who needs support, we'll try and help them as much as we can. It's not awesome when anybody goes under or has trouble in this industry, but it does prove that this is pretty tough.
Yep.
On the EPC side of this business, it's pretty wild. Construction's weird in itself. Solar construction with batteries and roofing is a whole nother beast. So be patient, be understanding. Let's talk. Let's communicate. Let's over communicate, and we'll make sure that we all make it through this. The solar industry is going to keep going. We're here for you.
Absolutely. Open door policy as always. We want to make sure that everybody's in it to win it, stays in it together. Got to move forward. So yeah, as you can see here on the screen, there's other credit related things we'll need to clear. Those hurdles can be sometimes tricky, sometimes not terrible, but again, just over communicate. And then yeah, lastly, obviously, if there's already equipment on the roof, we gotta press major pause, go check it out for
Yeah.
ourselves. We can't, can't exactly
Yeah.
just plug right in. So, all righty. Last but not least, I randomly heard this quote the other day. Sure, it's a little foofa, it's a little poetic, whatever, but I appreciate the sentiment here, and I think a lot of people might as well. No winter lasts forever, no spring skips its turn. There might be some people who just had a very what could be a very dark wintry cloud, appear over them this week, and again, all we can say to those people is it doesn't last forever. There's spring on the other side of it, and yeah, even if you're in a little bit of a sales funk yourself, it's always going to come around as long as you stick it out, and yeah, just do the right thing, keep your head up on that.
That's
Andy,
right.
please.
Yeah. This is going to be an exciting couple months here to see what happens here in the solar industry, and what we do and how we do it. We're here to support you guys as best as we possibly can. Keep the balls moving forward and down the court. I'm looking forward to it. So feel free to reach out to myself or to Brock or to Ryan and Danny as well. We'll help take care of you as we can go. And we'll go from there, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. I feel like this was a quick one. Did we just make record time on FAQ Friday?
I think we did. I mean, it's short, sweet, to the point, and yeah, guys. Let's have a great weekend and a good week. If you're going to Coachella, be safe.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody.
Bye
See
bye.
ya.